So we were talking about the aggregated fund, and the question came up was, how do you know that the funds you raise are transferred to your organisation's bank account? Correct? Good question. So let me go back one step. All funds raised are put into an account which is what we call as the aggregated account. And then on the due date, those funds are released automatically based on electronic instructions to the bank back to the organisation's bank account, tagged specifically for the purpose for which the funds were raised. So, to answer your specific question, those funds are held at T1, that's Tier 1, internationally recognised financial services organisations such as National Australia Bank. National Australia Bank, AAA rated, one of Australia's biggest four banks. Now, what happens is you get an automated payment instructions. So, you put your money in to the aggregated account. That shows up on your bank statement. You can query it online at the site, and it will show up on the statement that we issue to you. Now, because the funds are now sitting in the internationally recognised banking system, we issue a set of instructions to them, and they transfer the money back to the organisation's bank account. Now, that aggregated fund is managed by and held in an independent trust. So what that means is that if Value Communities gets into trouble, that money does not belong to Value Communities. It is held by this independent trust. What's more, we give you all of the tools to query all of this, so you can query your account online. You get a monthly statement as a PDF. You get an email every time you make a contribution. You get a PDF tax receipt on a daily basis or as appropriate to the contributions that you make. Because you know the organisation, you know that the funds have arrived. And let me put this in another perspective. You pay $2 to the street collector. Do you have any transparency over that? Do you know what happens to that funds? No. You buy your hot dog at the sausage sizzle. Do you know what happens to those funds? Do you have any way to prove what happens? You buy the raffle ticket in the office. Do you get a receipt? Can you query the transaction? Can you match it to your bank statement? And can you take your statement to the organisation and say what happened to these funds, and are those funds specifically flagged for a purpose to use? So the answer is not just one simple thing. We're not saying just go ahead and trust us. What we've done is we've put a mechanism in place to manage those funds. Those funds are held in top tier banks. Those funds can only be dispersed by electronic instructions that are automatically generated by the system, and we give you the statements, the tax receipts, the online query, and all of those other tools to track it. Feeling good about that? Great.